because we have that new reward that we're going to do once a month, and it has to do with style. So we're going to feature someone who has developed the style and it's recognizable. So we're going to make another reward out of that to motivate other people to really try to focus that way. The first thing we've done with it, we chose someone who has a really unique look with what she's doing. Sue Waller, merit, an overall artist, painter, and so forth. And where her work really shines is the conceptual things that she's been doing. And her cowboy portraits here, I loved. And she came from, when we first saw her work, it was just all over the place. And we couldn't really focus on what was be really special about her. But it's really just basically overall style that she continues to shine with. Of course, Karen, who's such a talented photographer, and your work is so beautiful. This image that you did is really, really stunning. And the way you described it, everything else is great, that you tell a story behind it and everything else. And I think that's really special. Well, first of all, love that image. And if you talk about it doesn't look like digital, it's just a great image. Forget about what the assignment is. But what's really great about it is you don't even know if it's a double exposure or what it is, but your description it's a reflection in a window, the way you capture it. So if you want to tell us about the picture since you're here.
And I'm standing outside amongst these grasses, and my model Jennifer is inside lying down on a table. So the grass is reflected in the window between me and the model.
Yeah, it's great. The abstractness of it, the quality of it. I think Ken's a great photographer, and he has a lot of great images, but he's all over the place with his great eye. Focus on these ones where you really shine. But if you could be more consistent with the looks, it's handled beautifully. Your exposure, the light, the warmth of the candlelight, the feeling, the composition because of the foreground with that person, the way she's sitting there, the other person, you can see it's a somber moment, and you've captured it beautifully, and it's a beautiful and a sensitive image. Martires, with these first two images are really great. I love the way you handle the silhouette. The silhouettes are great, the way you've done them. They're really special, and the one under it also.
Yeah, those weren't intentional. Those were, shooting on stage, and the primary lights didn't go off.
If you want to do a commercial shot, a beauty shot, or jewelry, light it the same way. Put a wristwatch or something on his arm, and take the same picture and show it to a creative director at an ad agency, and they would, I guarantee you'd get some kind of assignments based on that. This has a look of film. It has monochrome kind of colors. It has the warmth and the tones of a Renaissance painter, the subtleties of the shadow, and her expression, and how she is so dramatically and sensitive. It's done really perfectly and beautifully, and it's really an award-winning type of image.
So I love shooting in New York at night, but this time it was raining, and the cabbie was driving me past the marquee of Radio City, and I saw it and immediately thought to myself, this would be like an old movie if I could successfully get this photograph. I kept having him drive me around, and as we all know in New York, you don't just go around the corner, you have to go several blocks. And I think he thought I was crazy, but I knew what I wanted. And Ogilvy purchased it for, $7,500 or 10 grand, something like that, for one of their offices in the tri-state area. And, I was really thrilled about that because, they have so many photographers that they use for the pick, one of mine for their wall, and to pay pretty well for it. It was just a nice thing. And it's always nice when you have something in your mind and you're able to accomplish it. It's just a rewarding feeling. And that's what happened with this image.
When I read the story about it, when I first saw the image, I said, what a great New York image. And because the one you have up there is not a limited edition, but it's a mural that has credibility because of where it is and the story that you create behind it. and
Right.
make it a very limited edition. For example, the 4060 may be an edition of 5. You know, the other one may be an edition of 10. If you're
Right.
going to have an exhibition, then it'd be great to do it in the 4060. It represents more of the mural.
Right.
But make it expensive. Make it an edition of 5 and a 40 by 60, and the release price of it in that size, the release price is $16,000. And if you could tell some kind of story about it, is terrific. One of the things that has been important for me is longevity, and when you have a story that goes back for so many years, or happens to be with famous models, you're dealing with things that don't exist anymore. There's a lot of stories, there's a lot of time, and there's a lot of things, and it creates a perceived value. And you have to really, that's the way you have to look at it.